This time you're gonna get eaten! No! God! You taste terrible. I am the way your son don't need a gun to get. Living in this darkness,
Arifureta is an awful anime, but underneath its anemic story and banal characters, there's something you might not expect. More fucking awfulness. In fact, one needs to descend through 65 layers of crap before anything worthwhile reveals itself. Prior to crossing that bridge, however, let's dissect the multitude of flaws with this cookie-cutter, cliched Isekai. As is the case with any self-proclaimed Isekai, Arifureta features an unimaginative main character, Hajime Nagumo, who starts off as a weak bitch,
Please, I don't wanna die!
but eventually levels up to a pirate slash Terminator slash 1800s banker slash in-sync Justin with the frosty tips slash phony badass to fight cannon fodder on his way to his eventual harem. A harem that he has no interest in, of course, because no guy wants to be chased. They want to do the chasing. Which, speaking honestly, makes sense, but is thrown out of proportion when every gorgeous babe flings her virginity at Hajime.
After that, I'll ask Hajime to take my virginity!
Wow.
Aside from being a chick magnet, Hajime has game-breaking powers that allow him to swiftly acquire new abilities and bitches by eating monsters. A sadistic copy of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime's absorptive powers. His only aspiration is to escape the dungeon in which he finds himself in, and with the aid of his OP powers, he is all but assured to accomplish his goal, rather easily I might add. In addition, he is shown to be a clueless jerk throughout the series, and will deliberately hurt other girls' feelings for the sake of comedic relief.
So you ask questions!
It's going in deeper!
Eventually though, it is revealed that Hajime's brooding, uncaring disposition is a veil to cover up his heroic deeds. A classic anti-hero with none of the redeeming qualities. The other main characters in Arifureta are classic tropes that have been utilized numerous times. Yui is a flat-chested tsundere, who is standoffish to everyone except Hajime, who she willingly takes her clothes off for. She is a well-endowed furry with a membership to the Hajime Groupie Club, just like every other chick in this anime. And Tio is a pervert who uses her boobs as clickbait in hopes that Hajime will delete his cookies on her. Awesome! In terms of the animation, I was going to equate it to a smelly turd, but that would be an insult to all the smelly turds that didn't reek half as much as this. The 3D animation of the dragon, Tio, in episode 9 was so awful and janky that I wanted to shove a metal rod up the person's ass who animated that shit. Wait, maybe that's what they wanted. The character designs were generally weak, and the backgrounds were unremarkable. You may be wondering then, what silver lining could anyone see in this unmitigated disaster? One word, nanar. Which, according to UrbanDictionary.com, can either refer to the most beautiful girl in the world or a movie so bad that it's good. Seeing that Arifureta does not have Margot Robbie, however, we'll have to go with the latter definition. Therefore, Arifureta finds itself in the company of Batman and Robin,
Allow me to break the ice.
Skelter Heaven, and Mars of Destruction, for being an unintentional laugh riot due to its exquisite repugnance. The fact that Hajime shot a bear and ate his arm in front of him should be sufficient to validate this claim. While a preponderance of Arifureta's hilarity is derived from unintentional circumstances, there are moments that are deliberate and well planned out. They are few and far between, but when they do land, they are pure gold. In episode 8, while eating his lunch, Hajime decided to shoot a guy for no other reason than being annoyed by him. Mind your fucking manners, son! Then in episode 10, instead of being benevolent to Shimizu,
Today, Junior!
shit! An evil wizard, and giving him a second chance, Hajime straight up murdered that little dweeb because he was an evil wizard, duh! Which is an interesting phenomena in and of itself, because while Arifureta built itself up on classic tropes, it displayed a willingness to break them from time to time, especially when Shimizu called Hajime an edgelord straight to his face.
I'm talking to you, edgelord! Stop playing stupid!
Causing Hajime to foolishly look behind his shoulder as if Nifumi from Shield Hero would be standing there. Hi. Of course, Arifureta's deconstruction is nothing compared to Neon Genesis Evangelion. Nevertheless, it was effective in its own way. With all that said, we have quite the predicament on our hands. On one side of the equation, we have the unmistakable stench of a putrid isekai that is laden with tropes, inane battle tactics, and horrendous animation, and on the other side, we have unintentional comedy that intermittently points out the flaws of the isekai genre itself. Arifureta is simply too objectionable to be called good, but at the same time, too funny to be called bad. Let's call it you awesome! 5 out of 10!
I'd fall at your feet and call you master, and offer myself to you body and soul!
Nice and hot. Yeah, boy.